Appearance on Dion's Daily Dose does not imply endorsement from or by any candidate or guest. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by Dion Bergeron or Dion's Daily Dose are his own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any guest. Material and information presented is for general information purposes only. The Dion's Daily Dose name in all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owners, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service. If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Dion's Daily Dose for Saturday, October 3rd. Can you believe it's October already? Oh my goodness. So I want to share a couple of things with you tonight that I feel that you should know. I got this mailer. Now, this is the third mailer that I've gotten from my opponent. I actually took pictures of it, and I'm going to share them with you so that you can see. Another interesting thing is that my opponent now has a website. I don't know how long it's been there. It hasn't been that long. I know that because when we went checking before, no website was listed. So now I obviously have a website. So my question is, did my opponent get a website just because I had one, or what? Here's the interesting thing about my opponent's website. Two things. Number one, there's actually nothing on it. There's nothing on the website at all except for a picture of a flag. And the most interesting thing about this picture of a flag is that the flag is actually facing the wrong way. Don't just take my word for it. I'm going to show you. Now, it's no secret that my opponent is an incumbent, so I'm not trying to. Normally, I wouldn't give my opponent name recognition, but people already know who they are. So there we go. This is the website of a sitting House of Representatives, an official representative, right? Indiana District 9. This is the entirety of the website. I'm clicking and dragging. I am clicking. There is nothing. The flag is facing the wrong way, ladies and gentlemen. It is supposed to be the other way. If you look at the U.S. flag code, it will tell you which way it's supposed to face and how it should be. The Legion has a layout for how the flag is supposed to be. I'm going to share that with you now so that you can look it up. Once again, my opponent has a website that has nothing on it, zero, zilch. I'm going to show you one more time, except the flag that is facing the wrong way. I'm going to show you the other thing, this mailer that we got. One of the interesting things about this mailer is on the one side, right, it says, one of the most enjoyable parts of being your partner at the State House, right, is going door to door in our community to listen to your concerns, hear about your families, and share our common goals. Now, I'd like to point out that every single person that I have talked to while going door to door has never heard from the current state rep. Never. They have never gone door to door. But let's continue. Unfortunately, I will not be able to do that this fall because of the precautions surrounding the COVID-19 pandemic. So apparently 6 feet is not possible when you go door to door. Now, that's interesting because I've always found that it's actually pretty easy. You knock on the door and then you back up, and then you give people plenty of space, 6 feet, right? And if you're that concerned, wear a mask, right? Please contact me at any time if I can answer questions, discuss your concerns, or help your family. There's their contact information. Now, I would like to point out that, again, every single person that I have spoken to has told me that they have reached out before. The people that have brought this up, not every person, but the people who have attempted to contact my opponent have never heard back from them. Never. They have sent emails, they have sent messages, they have put comments on the website, on Facebook page, have not heard back. Let me show you. Now, one of the interesting things that I find for this is, first of all, wearing a mask. Seriously, you can't take a photo without wearing a mask. I'm so over this mask crap. That, like, in and of itself annoys me. But let's look at the sign, because this is representative of my opponent's signs. Qualified. So apparently that's a dig saying that I'm not qualified. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you do realize that every single position in the government was established with the intention of everyday people going to Indianapolis, Washington, D.C., or whatever the capital city of your state is, to represent the rest of us. It is absolutely critical that we get rid of career politicians that are so-called qualified in order to replace them with patriots and people who understand that not every law has to be 600 pages thick. We need people that can write laws that are easily understood. Because remember, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. So if we have 1,200 pages to describe a law, the average person isn't going to read that. But ignorance is not an excuse. Let me show you the rest of this. So we've got, which, by the way, is very difficult to read, but qualified, experienced at what exactly, and ready. Ready. What does that mean? Ready for what? I would hope you're ready. I would think that personally, I think I would have replaced it with able. But I would hope you're ready. You're already a state rep. What exactly are you ready for? I'm curious because you know what's not on there? Effective. It is what it is. Let me show you. Let me show you the other side of this. So there's some interesting things on here that I think you'll agree. So it says, help Northwest Indiana families recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. Okay, it doesn't say how. It just says that they will help Northwest Indiana families recover. Improve education with funding and resources that support students and teachers. Now, I would like to point out, ladies and gentlemen, that the Democrat answer to fixing our schools is always more money. Always. How do we fix the schools? More money. We need to give them more money. They need more money. We just need more money. We cannot fund our way out of the problem that is our schools. More money is not the solution. It is not. We have got to come up. Number one, we have to get rid of standardized testing. That has to go. Number two, we have to hold people accountable. We have to make sure that our children are being taught actual facts and history and not propaganda. That's a huge personal thing for me. I'm seeing it across the nation. Our president has brought it up with the 16 whatever program. You know what I'm talking about. What is it, 1690 or whatever? It's an issue. It's absolutely an issue. Now, Indiana is not quite as bad as some of these other states, but we're still headed down that path. There's more. Make healthcare more affordable with lower prescription drug prices. Now, I find that very interesting because my opponent actually voted against that very thing in this past session. There was actually a bill up for voting on the House floor, and my opponent voted against it. So how exactly are they making healthcare more affordable for lower prescription drug prices when they're voting against making healthcare cheaper. This has been shown. Look up the voting record. If you don't believe me, look up the voting record. It's right there in black and white. And it absolutely belies what's on this mailer. There's more. Create and keep good. What I find really, this is the other thing. What I find really, really interesting about these mailers and stuff is, oddly enough, they happen to follow my very platform. Now, I'm sure that's pure coincidence. I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that I said that we need a state rep who is going to actually attract quality careers to the area. I'm sure it has nothing to do with that, but I digress. Create and keep good jobs with assistance to workers and small businesses. And my favorite, guarantee equality so that all Hoosiers have the ability to succeed. Guarantee equality. Now, what does that mean? I'll leave it to your imagination. I can tell you that equality of outcome is not the same as equality of opportunity. I am all for equality of opportunity, but you get what you put in. If you are not willing to work, if you are not willing to go to obtain higher education, if you are not willing to put the work in to better your life, then you're not going to get a return. You cannot make $15 an hour if you don't have any skills other than flipping burgers. I'm sorry, that's life. Flipping a burger, let me tell you, my son flips burgers at McDonald's. And even my son says the job is not worth $15 an hour. Period. End of story. It is what it is. Because I'm going to tell you, there are people who have worked their lives, worked their butts off to get to where they make $15 an hour. And if you think that a baseline minimum wage needs to be improved so that everybody is making $15 an hour, that devalues the people who have worked to make more money. Simple. Does this mean that I am against people making more? Absolutely not. Of course not. It's very, very frustrating with these terms and these catchphrases that unfortunately people fall for. They continue to fall for it. They think that it's just magically going to happen, that the Indiana, the federal government is going to suddenly magically make laws that means you're going to make $100,000 a year and you can continue working at McDonald's 20 hours a week. It's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. I am absolutely willing to look at the data that shows whether or not an improved minimum wage benefits the majority of citizens. But I'm going to tell you, a flat raise on the minimum wage has been shown to have mixed results. Some good, some bad. Unfortunately, it impacts small businesses. It doesn't hurt Walmart. It doesn't hurt Target. It doesn't hurt McDonald's. It hurts mom and pop shops. It hurts those small businesses that are dying right now because of the ridiculous regulations that we have on them. The ridiculous regulations that take a disease that has 99% survival rate, over 99%, 99 point whatever, and we've shut an entire country down. Almost. South Dakota's still doing really well from what I understand. That said, where does it end? Where does it stop? Where do we get people that are willing to take responsibility for their own actions and say, gee, maybe I shouldn't have goofed off in high school. Maybe I should have got decent grades. Maybe I should have went to after school programs. Maybe I should have gone to higher education, and maybe I should have become a plumber or a carpenter or a welder or any of the other numerous jobs that are out there that pay pretty darn well and are not a 4-year degree. There's such a push for this 4-year degree from colleges, right? There's such a push for people to go straight from high school and go into these liberal institutions where they are force fed things that are against our country, absolutely against our country. I don't know. What's really frustrating is these people who have tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes even more, in student debt because they went to college for a degree that was useless. Whatever you want to call it, I'm not gonna name degrees, but you know what they are. And suddenly feel like everything should be handed to them. They should have all their student debt wiped out. They should be given a amazing job that makes incredible amounts of money. It is what it is. I'm just going to say this. If someone who represents us in the Indiana legislature does not know which way the United States flag should face, that's an issue. To me, that's a big concern. It doesn't. How hard is it to look it up? Which way should the flag face? I looked up mine before I hung it up just to be absolutely certain that I was hanging it the correct way. And I know that that is the correct way because I looked it up. How hard is it to just do a little bit of, you don't even have to do research. Just done. Really? Is it laziness? Is it ignorance? What is it? I'm legitimately curious because for something so minor, it really is. Like, flip the picture around if you can't get a picture with the flag facing the right way. It blows my mind. Now, on the one hand, I look at it as, oh, look, my opponent maybe is taking this seriously and now has a website because I do. Good, right? But if you're going to have a website, at least make sure the stuff's right. At least make sure that things are the way that they should be. I mean, holy cow. So that's where we're at. I'm sure that all of you have heard by now that the president and the first lady have been diagnosed with COVID-19. My thoughts and prayers go out, but I'm absolutely positive he will be just fine. Again, this is a virus with a incredibly high survival rate. I don't think there's anything to worry about. As a matter of fact, if anything, I was actually honestly thinking that maybe this would be a good opportunity for the administration to show people exactly how non-destructive this could be for our country and should be. This stuff needs to be rolled back. These shutdowns, these mandates, all of these things, it's too much. It's too much. We took the greatest economy in the history of the world and cut its throat. Over what? Over what? Were it not for the very blue states like New York, New Jersey, Michigan, where all of these COVID positive patients were stuffed into nursing homes to affect the most vulnerable among us, I believe that our numbers would be significantly lower. And it's unfortunate. It really is. Look it up if you don't believe me. Do a little bit of research. Look at how many people have died in the nursing homes in some of these states. It's horrific. It really is. So it's going to be an interesting election, ladies and gentlemen. It really is. I didn't bring them in here. I'm working on a project right now where I am actually going to be putting some flags on my vehicle. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do that, but it is what it is. Apparently, someone decided that they didn't like freedom of speech and the things that were on my vehicle and broke one of my windows. I'm actually going to call tomorrow and Monday probably, and start a claim, get my window replaced. It's unfortunate that this is why we can't have nice things. You know, speaking of that, I find it also interesting that the people who are supposed to be of the party of love and tolerance, so-called Democrat Party, are actively wishing harm on our president, regardless of how you feel about the job the man is doing. Can you call yourself a decent human being if you're wishing death on someone? I mean, what kind of disgusting thing is that? And it's infuriating. There's actually Facebook, Twitter, and I believe Instagram are all okay with it. They're perfectly fine with that. But I guarantee you, if someone was going to wish harm on someone on the left, their accounts would be immediately tagged, flagged, tagged and bagged, whatever you want to call it, banned. It is absolutely infuriating. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I got more coming. We're actually not tomorrow. We decided to postpone it for a week so that I can get a good graphic done and put it out there. A week from tomorrow, we're going to have Rachel Kessler on. She is I believe, the president of the term limits group for Indiana. She's the Indiana or state director for U.S. term limits. And we're going to have a discussion. We're going to have a conversation about how far are we from term limits, because we know the overwhelming majority of people in this country support term limits for our politicians. We have had career politicians for far too long. It is time to take our country back. At the grassroots level, at the local level, the state level, the national level, it is time for regular Americans, not lawyers, not career politicians, but regular people to get out there, start running for office, and start winning. And with your help, we can make that happen. I am really hoping that all of you continue to stay informed, to learn about us, and visit my website. If you can donate, it helps a heck of a lot more than you think. It allows us to get on social media, put the word out. It allows us to have good meet and greet events. It allows us to get more exposure out there. It really helps. $5, $10, whatever you can. I detest asking people for money. I really do. Unfortunately, when you run for office, it's a necessity. So if you can afford it, if you can spare it, please, it would really help us. Go to my website, dionbergeron.com, click on contribute, and it'll take you to WinRed. This is the exact same platform used by the Republican Party as the official fundraising platform of the Republican Party, and the same one that our president uses. Perfectly safe. Don't have to worry about anything. You can donate at the website, or if you prefer to mail donations, you can mail them to our headquarters, 1018 Providence Street. Make the checks out to Dion Bergeron for Indiana. Unfortunately, that's the reality of running for office. It takes money. It takes far more money than I could possibly do on my own. That's why we count on supporters like you. If you have any questions, concerns whatsoever, do not hesitate to reach out to me. You can contact me on social media, and I answer you. Unlike some people, I will answer you directly. I do not take care of my social media for me. I answer you directly. If you have a question that you would rather not post publicly, you can email me. talk@dionbergeron.com. And if you want something, if you have some questions that you'd like answered live, or if you have ideas for people that I could have a conversation with during the show, let me know. I would be more than happy to expand on anything more you would like to know. I will tell you this: if anybody has a good idea for a dedicated webcam, currently I use my phone, which, as you can see, it's got a good camera, but it doesn't allow me to text or answer phone calls during this. It does work, but I actually think a dedicated camera, if you know of one that's a good price but still works really well, let me know. I will look into it. There's more coming up, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to show you step by step why your vote matters, why your vote should be cast for me, and why you should not vote for the Democrat Party. But more importantly than that, vote for the person. Vote for the person that you believe represents your interest the best. If that person happens to have an R behind their name, fantastic. If they happen to have a D or an L behind their name, fantastic. But I'm going to tell you, I have yet to speak to someone from the left, i.e. Democrat Party, who is for our brave men and women in uniform, who is for police officers, who is for safety and security in our communities, who is for expanding the budget or at least keeping it. I think these are all things that are really, really important to know from people. And let's see here. Let me take a look at something real quick. I got an answer to something. Interesting. So, okay. All right. So it turns out that this website has actually been around for a while. Since February, her website, since February of 2018, but there's nothing there, which is interesting. So fair enough. It looks like Jack sent me how much. Ooh, wow, that's actually a really good price. I might have to order that. Thank you. Thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. That's pretty awesome, actually. So he sent me a link to a webcam so that I'll be able to hopefully improve this for you, make it even better. Because what it comes down to for me is this is not something that I'm going to stop doing, especially if elected. If elected, I'm going to talk to you this way, as well as coming to you, knocking on your door, because I know what social distancing is. I can knock on the door and step back 6 feet. I know that's a crazy concept. I know it's hard to understand that that's a thing, but it is. Anyway, and I intend to continue doing these videos. I'm going to tell you every step of the way what I'm doing in the State House. I'm going to tell you what's up to be voted on, what it means, and how I'm going to vote. I will also talk to you at length if you so wish. Some of these are longer than I wanted them to be. I think if I can get this camera, I can get some. For whatever reason, I'm not sure why, but when I talk to you here live, it works fine. But when I try to record a video, it'll sometimes hitch, and then I lose important parts because I'm trying to make some short videos for you, issue-oriented videos, so that you can quickly see what I think about a particular thing. But with that, I will end this. I thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate it. And really, do your due diligence. Look into your candidates up and down the ballot and see if these people truly represent your interests. I don't believe that my opponent represents the majority of the area. I don't believe they're doing their job. It's just that simple. And we'll get into more of that. As I stated on this post, I'm not looking to bash my opponent. I think that personality-wise, they seem to be a good person. They seem to be one of the better people out there that are in office. But they're still a career politician, and they are still not doing their job. That's what I'd like to focus on. So thank you very much for joining me. I will see you all very, very soon. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Indiana. And God bless the United States of America. And get well, Mr. President.
If you'd like to support the show, please visit our Patreon at patreon.com/Dion's Daily Dose. This has been Dion's Daily Dose, hosted by Dion Bergeron. Executive producers, Sean Holgram and Michael Beebe. Copyright 2020. Dion's Daily Dose, all rights reserved.